Hi, this is Gopalakrishnan from gopalakrishnan.com, and one of the biggest questions that most of our members, our inner circle members have at gopalakrishnan.com is should I start a blog or should I do blogging, right? So there's no real answer to this. There's no right answer or wrong answer. It really depends on you and what you want to achieve and how do you envision yourself making money online. Let me just explain a bit from my experience about the topic of blogging. Should you start a blog or not? So when I got started in 2006 with online marketing, it was with my own WordPress blog at gopalakrishnan.com. It was the first ever WordPress blog I've ever tried to install. And I really had no idea exactly what I wanted to do with the blog. I just wanted to secure my own domain name with my own name in it before someone else got it. And since I had the domain name, I thought, let's start a blog. And that gradually got a bit more serious for me. So blogging in the next few years, from 2006 to 2008, 2009, it got a bit more serious for me. And I started blogging about first about e-commerce in Malaysia, and a little bit about how difficult it is to get a PayPal account. A lot of complaining here and there. Some stuff about my life in Malaysia, and that got me my initial subscribers quite easily because those were the days before Facebook and social media. Of course, if you don't count MySpace. So those were the days before Facebook and social media, and there weren't really many places for people to spend their attention to. So blogging was the hot thing at that point of time. And if you had a blog, and blogs were revolutionary at that point of time because unlike other websites, people could actually comment on your blog. And so that was sort of like a social thing going on as well. So I used to get much comments back then. Anyway, so I started a blog in 2006, and from gopalakrishnan.com, I started to make money online. But I made very little money from what you'd consider the normal methods to make money from a blog, which is through Google AdSense or some kind of advertising program on your blog. I made some money, but it was really not much, very little money. So from my blog, from the subscribers and users and the interaction I got from my blog, I began to see some of the big questions people had was, how do I create a blog like yours? How do I start blogging? So I went on and created an ebook, an information product, and I sold it in ClickBank. It was called WordPress AdSense System. It was called WordPress AdSense System, and as you can see from the title, so you have to excuse me because we have a very terrible haze going on in Malaysia, and I can only talk for a while before my throat gets dried up. So anyway, it was called WordPress AdSense System, and that made a lot of money for me. The ebook on teaching people how to set up a WordPress blog. And from that ebook, I created another blog at easywordpress.com, which no longer exists. And so then I had two blogs. Now from two blogs, it became a bit confusing for me because where do I talk about the make money online stuff and where do I talk about other stuff? But anyway, I kept on going with two blogs, and then I started to do niche blogging. Niche blogging was basically to create one blog for small niches. So I ended up with I think about 10 to 20 different blogs. There was my gopalakrishnan.com, there was easywordpress.com, which was doing quite well, getting about 50,000 unique visitors per month. And then I had many niche blogs, and I couldn't write for all those blogs, so I actually hired someone to write for those blogs. So now I do almost no blogging. So why? Why do I do almost no blogging right now? If you want to start a blog, you must first understand how are you going to make money online with that blog. That's the first question. The second question is, are you really a blogger? I mean, there's so many ways to make money online. Blogging is just one of them. So don't get carried away by all the hype about blogging. Maybe you've seen screenshots of people who make tons of money online through blogging. Yeah, blogging works for them, but does it work for you? Now that's the most important question. So from my experience, what I realized is if you want to start a blog, number one, you got to love blogging and you have to love writing. Or maybe creating content in other ways like a video, like what I'm doing now. But you have to love writing, you have to love creating content, you have to love sharing, and most importantly of all, you must love the topic that you're blogging about. And this is one of the key mistakes that I've made and many people have made, is that they do some kind of keyword research, or something like that, and they say, oh, this every month there are 100,000 people searching for information on car loans, for example, and so they start a blog about car loans. Unfortunately, though, you realize that there are some people who make a lot of money from blogs and blogging, but for every one person who's successful with blogging, there are thousands and literally thousands of them who fail with blogging, because you got to love blogging. Blogging is a continuous act of sharing content onto your blog. If you look at all the popular blogs, they are adding at least one page or one post of new content per day. So of course, needless to say, if you have 10 blogs, that becomes kind of impossible for you to actually do. With blogging, it's more about building a readership, and the readership can actually identify if you are really passionate about your subject, if you are really an expert in your subject, or if you're just rehashing stuff or using PR articles. They can tell, trust me. And so if you are really passionate about something, a topic, and if you're good in writing, if you love writing, if you love creating videos or some kind of other content, and you love sharing it with others, then you should create a blog. But if you don't love writing, and if you, especially, you don't love the subject matter that you want to blog about, I suggest that you do not create a blog at all. Because once you start creating a blog, it's very time consuming for you to think of new ideas to write. And thinking of new ideas to write is easy if you love the topic. But if you don't, it becomes a nightmare, really. It's just like having a second job. So you hate your first job and you hate your second job as well. And that really sucks, So start blogging only if you love sharing, writing content. And don't worry about the keyword research or all those other technical stuff online. Just do some basic research to see that the topic that you love exists, of course, and there's enough number of people who are also interested in that topic. Well, for example, you can just search on Google for a topic, and if you can see that if there are any existing blogs out there, and you can see the level that those blogs are performing at. So you must be, although you're starting from scratch, but someday you should be at that level or higher in order to make money online. So with blogging, most of the people who start blogging, they put AdSense on their blog and they make very little money. And this is a fact of life for blogging. You will make very little money with blogging, at least for the first 2 years, until you build up substantial readership and you're getting a lot of search engine traffic. And then you start making more money from Google AdSense and other kind of ready-made ad systems. But really, the biggest money in blogging comes by direct ad buys, meaning someone pays you directly to display their banners or their ads on your blog, not going through a network like Google AdSense, because there's no middleman, and traditionally people are willing to pay more for that kind of advertising. So if you notice, all the big blogs online today, they have a section there that says advertise, and if you click on that advertise, you'll notice that this is direct advertising from the advertiser to the owner of the blog, normally without going through any kind of ad network. So the big money in blogging is when you have built up substantial readership, and when you have a lot of search engine traffic, and when there's really good quality articles on your blog, then you can start with direct ad purchases. But if you start with 2 pages of your blog and you are hoping for someone to buy an ad on your blog, you can forget it. Normally people are looking for at least 100,000 page views or 200,000 page views for buying banners directly on your blog. So my conclusion is, should you start a blog or not? Yes, if you love the topic and you love writing, creating content, and also thirdly, if you have another way to monetize all the traffic other than ads. For example, if you have a software selling an ebook or whatever on the main site, and then you have let's say mywebsite.com/blog, so the blog is just supporting the actual product that you're selling, and whatever traffic you're getting is actually being sent back to the main page so they can buy your product, then that would be a good reason to blog. You should not start a blog if you think it's going to be an easy way for you to make money online. It's easy to make $1, $2 a day from blogging, maybe. But you'll be stuck at that stage for a very, very long time unless you become a really, really good blog, unless your blog becomes really popular online. So that's all my tips on should you start a blog or not at gobalakrishnan.com. If you're not a member yet, you can go to gobalakrishnan.com and actually sign up for all my video tutorials and coaching. Thank you.